Okay, continuing on with Alila, Naira Alila. Hare lanu miva'ar b'kol midrashim halalu, ki gam kol hamuras kulam asher meforash b'Torah sibasam. We learn from all these midrashim that we have been discussing about the topic of Alila that all the events of history, even the ones that the Torah gives an explanation for, that the real reason, the underlying reason for all of them, whatever takes place in history, in Tanakh, and of course after too, is the main reason is Gezerah, because Baruch Hu was Gozer. It has to happen that way. It was put into Ma'aseh Bereshis back at the beginning, and things have to unfold in a certain way that Hashem wants. V'hein, ha'ma'ores, v'hein hasibos, whether we're talking about the event or the reasons, hem kulam mitzisrei and hagasoyis baruch shemo, everything, as much as we understand or we think we understand what's going on in history and why Hashem has done what He has done for whatever reason, right? We have to know it's a mystery, because Baruch Hu has His plan and He has His way of carrying things out, and we understand a lot because we're allowed to. We've been told some of the secrets of Kabbalah too, but the bottom line is because Baruch Hu knows things that we don't know, and we have to appreciate that. Beheim kavushim, they're literally crushed, but it means that they're suppressed, would be a better word. Etzlo. Mi'az mikedem shuhu mekaydim sheniv olam. Going back to before my Bereshis. V'hu hakol b'sibas olam adekudos o misasam shvirsam v'kol ma shenaseh behem b'ol matohu. So this is a very Kabbalistic concept. The concept of what we call Shvirsa Kelim, the breaking of the vessels, a pre-Ma'aseh Bereshis event that is a long story. It's the basis of so much Kabbalah, but there were events going on before history to make Ma'aseh Bereshis, pre-creation events. The Chumash begins with Bereshis, Bara Elokim Es Hashem Ha'aretz, and that pasuk is the middle of the story, as we said before. That Kabbalah deals with what comes before that, to get to that point in history. And there was a lot going on. And something called the breaking of the vessels, which has an impact on all of history after that. Whatever is going to happen throughout history, before and after, during the entire 6,000 years of history until Mashiach comes, and after until the year 6,000 and the beginning of the world to come, all that is based upon roots, spiritual roots, that were planted, so to speak, prior to Ma'aseh Bereshis by Kodesh Baruch Hu, based upon His master plan for creation. Yes.
What does it have to do with Shvir Sakelim?
Because Shvir Sakelim was part of that. In other words, God. Okay.
How did that affect? How did Shvir Sakelim affect that?
Because basically, the whole concept of Shvirsa Kelim, the breaking of the vessels, is in order to make it a perfectly perfect world, or a perfectly imperfect world is a better example of that. Evil has to exist. That's the problem. What's the whole problem with creation? The whole problem with history. If evil did not have to exist, and the world could be perfectly perfect, it still can't be with man, because we're a composite. We're finite. But much more perfect than it is now, and as it will be, B'ezrat Hashem, Yom Mashiach, going further into Techis HaMeisim, the resurrection of the dead, eventually will to come, and going higher and higher and higher. If evil did not have to exist, a lot of problems would be solved. Meaning that you wouldn't have to have Shvirsa Kelim, the breaking of the vessel necessarily, because you wouldn't need free will. That's the whole point. You wouldn't need free will. As long as you need free will, you have to have good and evil. As long as you require evil, you have to make a creation that can support the concept of evil, even if it's fictitious, even if it's only temporary, because it's not going to last forever. At some point in time, evil will stop completely. When God is finally revealed and Amalek is gone completely from history, eradicated, as the Torah promises, then evil will be gone and there'll be no more free will. And we'll become more like Malachim. But as long as evil had to exist, then you had to make a creation that could support at least the concept of evil, that we could have free will and earn reward in the world to come. So everything that went on prior to Ma'aseh Bereshis, especially the breaking of the original vessels from which God will make creation, is part of a process to make a world that can support the concept of free will.
So Shmiras HaKelim is created the potential for evil?
Yes, exactly what it did. Okay? And therefore free will, by extension. Because without the evil, you can't have free will. So Shmiras HaKelim is a concept necessary for the sake of free will. Because that's the goal. The goal is not the evil. The goal is the free will. Evil is just a means to accomplish that goal of free will in the end. Because free will is necessary that you can make moral choices and earn and increase your portion in the world to come, which is what history is all about. We're not here for the sake of free will per se. We're not here to live in this world forever. We're here as a means to get to the world to come, but you can't have the world to come if you don't earn it. That's a major component of enjoying the world to come, is that you earn it. That requires free will, it requires evil, it requires Shmiras HaKelim.
Whereas choosing good over evil.
Yeah. These are all Kabbalistic terms that require time to explain, but the basic idea is the basic idea. So he's describing the early process of pre-creation creation that led up to the actual breaking of the vessels. You know, if you could just imagine like this, there's 4 levels of existence. You have, really 5 levels of existence, but 4 primary levels of floors, so to speak, right? And each of these floors are completely empty. There's not even construction there yet. It's just a space where the floors can potentially exist at some point in the future. And above, on the 5th floor, it's kind of upside down because we usually build from the bottom up, but creation builds from the top to the bottom, upside down. It's like an upside down tree in a sense, right? And that's the way it's compared. So all the materials necessary to build all the 4 lower levels are all on the upper level, which is the 5th level, except that it's all, it's not just bags of concrete and timber and metal rods and things like that. It's all built into a structure already. And you want to destroy the structure so you can use the materials to build the lower worlds, below it. So you blow it up and you destroy that structure, but in a way that you can reuse the materials. You grind them down to make more cement and all these different things that you can possibly do. So that's what Hashem did. He began with a structure, so to speak, on the upper level, and then he broke it. And all the broken pieces by design and by plan fell down to lower levels, right, where they will be used to create the level of Atzilus. Below that, the level of Bria. Below that, the level of Yetzirah. And below that, the level of the Siyah, which is the world in which we live. That's the level of our physical level of existence. That's what he's talking about. So that's why Shmiras HaKelim was necessary. That's how it worked to make those 4 levels of the worlds in which we live. So he says, okay, V'sham haya amatzil kivyochel bebechinas choshev machshavas al kol habriya kula ech liyasadav la'amatzia v'chem b'chol hataluchos and haga b'chlal ha'pras. Of course, Baruch Hu, obviously, he wasn't doing this from nothing. He had a master plan for every single level, the potential of existence for every single level. And below that, the level below that, and all the creations that are going to exist and all the things that can take place and happen, it's all planned out and laid it down to the smallest living thing that's going to, on the level of Asiyah, right? It's all built into this material that came from what's called the breaking of the vessels, right? So it's the ad sof tachlisa, to the end of all of history, the purpose of all of creation. V'sham hayatzeifa umabid al hakol. He looked ahead and saw the whole thing. It all came out according to his ratzon, his will. It's all planned. There's a method to his madness, so to speak, that defies human intelligence, human imagination, things that have gone on that far deeper. I mean, that's a mistake that we often make. We think that with all that we know, including Kabbalah, the Leshem points out that even the Kabbalah, first of all, even the time that Moshe broke the Luchos, right? The level of Torah that Moshe came down with was a whole different level of Torah, right? It's a much higher level of Torah. So the level we have today is from the Luchos Shniyos, the second set of tablets. And even Kabbalah, he says, the Kabbalah that we're learning today, as deep and as profound and as revealing as it is, it doesn't match the level of Kabbalah that existed prior to the breaking of the first set of tablets. So we're chaser. It says that 600 orders of Mishnayos were lost. 600? Like what? What's missing? There's 6 Adarim, they seem quite complete. There's a whole aspect of Torah that we don't know yet, that we're going to see in Yemos HaMashiach that will blow us away, because we'll have a higher capacity to be able to learn it and to relate to it.